Hey folks, Eric is the whatever guy because it really is whatever for me. And do you folks want to know how an anonymous phone call can shut down a whole state's medical marijuana program? You guys stick around, man, and we'll talk about that. As you guys know, me, my name is Eric, and whatever guy. I use shoot videos a couple days a week, basically keeping you guys updated in the world Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, hemp, cannabis, just what's going on around. And today, man, sitting here bullshitting around on an early Tuesday morning. God, happy Merry Christmas for everybody, man. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope everybody is getting ready for the new year. I hope that the new year, is going to be good for you guys. And I also hope that last year was good for you guys. I hope next year will be much better. And as we move forward, man, I hope this channel grows. And I appreciate you guys all watching these videos and stuff like that. I appreciate it. Like I said, I used to have a much bigger channel than I have now. YouTube was nice enough to delete that channel for me. It's been a little bit of a comeback journey this year, trying to get this channel back up, but trying to get you guys some good information on news that's going on in the world, and obviously keeping track of what's going on in the states that we keep track of stuff in, like Florida and Alabama. But as we move forward with this Alabama medical marijuana program, we have looking at the issues that are going to happen as we go forward. And as it stands right now, we have talked about these license issuing and stuff like that. And as we moved into the license issuing place, there was two categories of licenses that did not have a cap. Like we could have awarded as many licenses as we wanted to in that category, and those were the secure transport and the labs. But it seems like as we move forward, they really only approved, I think, 4 secure transport, but only 1 lab in the state. And as we're looking at this, what's going on in Mississippi, this is a real problem right here. Like if I can make a phone call and just claim that lab is not testing for pesticides and shut down the whole state, that's going to create an issue coming forward for us. Like we are already in a position where we are a long ways off from getting medical marijuana, and then when we finally get medical marijuana, these are the little issues that are going to creep up along the way. So I'm gonna flip over here to an article over here. I believe this is over here at Marijuana Moment. Yes, it is. And it says Mississippi regulators place hold on large number of medical marijuana after receiving an anonymous call. And it says here, after an anonymous phone call alleged that Rapid Analytics Cannabis Testing Lab was not conducting the proper procedures for pesticides, the Mississippi State Department of Health placed an administrative hold on all medical cannabis products that underwent testing at the Natchez, Mississippi-based facility, lab spokesperson Mamie Henry said. They have no basis for anything except an anonymous call, which has shut down the entire industry pretty much because we do 70% of the testing for the state. Dispensaries cannot sell any cannabis that Rapid Analytics tested until the Mississippi State Department of Health provides further instruction. Dispensaries have been notified by the Mississippi Medical Cannabis Program of the products that can't be sold while the hold and retesting takes place. No dispensaries have been asked to close, and not all products are on hold. A statement from the email from Mississippi Free Press said on Friday. But let me just say this, guys, 70% of those products are being tested in that lab. So I would imagine that a lot of the rural spaces out in Mississippi, those rural dispensaries, do not have any product for those guys to push forward. That other lab was only doing 30% of the products, and I promise you, they are going to send those products to the higher traffic places, dispensaries. So I would imagine that a lot of these dispensaries that are in rural Mississippi, which is the majority of Mississippi, is rural in and of itself, and so I would imagine that a lot of these dispensaries are going to end up closing. And let me just say this too: those dispensaries not having any products in the stores. I've already had covered many times on this channel how the taxes far outweigh the profits that these dispensaries make. A lot of these dispensaries aren't making any money. It takes them 4, 5, 6, 7 years before they ever get to a point where they're making money, especially with the amount of taxes and the fees and stuff that they have to pay to even get in the game. So for these dispensaries not to have any product to sell on the shelf is really going to put a bind on those guys in the future. And I would imagine if this goes on for 6 or 7 weeks, some of those dispensaries are going to have to close because they're not going to be able to do business. The only thing that's keeping them going is the little bit of revenue that is generated in those places. Wednesday morning, Mississippi has 2 medical cannabis testing labs, Rapid Analytics and Steep Hill, Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi. All cannabis that Steep Hill has tested is still considered safe for patients to consume. Cultivators or cannabis growers must send their products to at least one of these testing labs before they can sell medical cannabis to dispensaries. Some cultivators choose to send their products to both companies for testing, like 74 Sons in Canton, Mississippi, a consultant Hardy Case said. All of 74 Sons medical cannabis is still good to sell and will be on dispensary shelves since Steep Hill approved the products. The dispensaries, a lot of them right now, have products on their shelves that have already been tested and passed, but now that the administrative hold, they can't sell it. Case told the Mississippi Free Press. It's just sitting there, even though that product may be perfectly fine. Henry assured patients, cultivators, and dispensary owners that the lab is dealing with it very, very, very rapidly and very professionally to ensure that the state opens up as quickly as possible. We are the most respected and most used lab in the entire state, so I don't know who would make this anonymous call. Here's a crazy situation. Like, we don't know who made the anonymous call, but it also kind of lends to the fact that anybody could have made that call. I could have made that call to, that anonymous call, and it would have shut down the whole thing. Is that the way it's going to be going forward? I mean, if you guys sitting on the Mississippi cannabis program council don't understand the rules and have not went through the procedures prior to this, you guys are way behind the power curve before you even get started. Getting into the Mississippi medical cannabis industry is an expensive, difficult process, and having issues from one of the state's two testing labs can be detrimental to patients and small dispensaries. We've had so many hurdles to jump through as a state and as an industry as a whole in Mississippi. So it's really disappointing that whatever happened with rapid analytics wasn't handled immediately and rectified, so patients wouldn't basically be hit with a large shortage. Dispensaries and cultivators are waiting for the MSDH to give guidance on how to retest or discard medical cannabis products from rapid analytics. Henry said that the lab has sent verification of its protocols to the MSDH. We'd all love to have it rectified by tomorrow, but it's unfortunately now out of our hands, she said Thursday. But we have provided everything to the state to prove that everything we're doing is correct. Having product delays or recalls is never optimal, but Case said the improper protocol claims could not have come at a worse time of year. Henry said the complaint seemed to be strategically timed with Christmas and on Monday. Since the holidays are approaching, Case said that patients who are trying to stock up on cannabis might have trouble finding what they need at their local dispensaries because of the lab's recall. It's really kind of a nightmare scenario for many dispensaries and patients too, because there are lots of patients, and most in Mississippi live in rural areas. So if you're in an area where dispensaries are scarce, then they are shut down. Then that's going to cause people to drive a lot more, and that's going to have them end up driving to dispensaries that are in places that are not quite as rural, guys. And let me just say this: I am very familiar with Mississippi, and let me just say that there's not anything that you can grab within 2 hours of anywhere you live. Like when you're rural in Mississippi, like you've literally got to drive 2.5, 3 hours to get any place that's got any type of population. So I would imagine that a lot of these dispensaries are probably way out in rural areas, like they are in Alabama. And the only reason I'm bringing this news article forward, guys, is because as it stands, like I said, we in Alabama only have one testing lab. And if I was to make a phone call tomorrow after we get the program started and just make an anonymous phone call and say that they're not tested for pesticides, could that shut the whole state down? I mean, that's really going to be an issue going forward for these folks. And I hope that they go ahead and get this sorted out, especially for those folks in Mississippi, because I would imagine, like I said, other than Jackson, Biloxi, and a couple other smaller places like Meridian, even Meridian, Mississippi is a kind of a bigger town, but you just immediately get outside of that town, you're already in rural Mississippi, guys. Like it's a crazy situation over there for them to only have two testing labs. It's a really crazier situation for us to only have one testing lab in the state of Alabama before we even get started. But these are the problems that we're going to be looking at going forward in the state if we can't get this, get all this shit sorted out before then. Like the cool thing would be is if we could actually get this sorted out before it becomes a problem. All right, folks, this is Whatever Guy signing off. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Love it. See ya.